Hello and welcome to the, I want to say, 11th episode of Let's Play Europa Universalis IV. Of course, we're still in a Regency. Unfortunately, we have to live with that. But what we can do is we can still accumulate a lot of money. Then, once our ruler is a adult, we can declare a huge war and seize as much as we can of our enemies' territory. Candash, I'm sorry. Since I was hoping to have by now the ability to go look at Europe and comment on what was happening there, but... Oh, Persia's grown much more powerful, actually. There, I can comment on that. Persia's annexed Afghanistan, and I'm happy with that they're actually forming. Ayutthaya is eating Champa, which is barely hanging on, and as the only Hindu kingdom over there, I applaud them for that. We have to also look at... Okay, also to explain, we're actually going to be stockpiling administrative power to spend on making a bunch of cores, especially since our next ruler is going to be incompetent with administration. 492 military power. So if we're lucky, we'll be able to get one more military tech. It gives us more military width. It increases our fire of our troops, and it gives us a military tactics bonus. Now, military tactics is the name of bonuses are the name of the game if you want to actually win wars, because that's part of the reason why, say, Europeans do so well against natives. It's not because the troops are that much different, just that the Europeans have such a strong tactics boost that they will take virtually no casualties from any battle. That, and it can send huge, unrealistically large stacks, but that's a complaint for something else entirely. So yeah, we should actually finish the colony before the end, and we'll get 1.33 back in maintenance costs, plus the income from the fully realized province. So I'm actually quite happy that it will fully develop, especially because it should be growing rather fast, especially since the natives aren't as ferocious anymore, and they're quite calm and peaceful, relatively speaking. Okay, yeah, so we have 902 settlers here. It definitely will be done before our era comes of age, in which then we'll look into colonizing the Atamans. We don't know what they'll produce, and they're just as hostile, but colonize those, and I think we'll have gotten all the unclaimed provinces. Also, one thing I've been curious is what the ideas are. Obviously, we're the only one which has actually developed some ideas in our region. I mean, no, Delhi actually has one national idea. It's gotten one economic idea. Gurajat has none. Jaunpur has one. Persia maybe is more enlightened. Yes, it is. It has one religious idea and 2 trade ideas. Timur has one trade idea. Yeah, we're starting to notice a pattern here, actually. Trade seems to be a popular idea group among the AI nations for one reason or another. Oh, wow. That's a huge stack of religious rebels. We're going to finance our military and fight them off. Fortunately, our cavalry are supercharged with this ruler, so we should be able to do some decent damage. And retake the province. Which most likely we'll have to convert on our own time, but... yeah, fortunately the rebels are even worse. So we can either take some rebels in Vijayanagar in an area we already have troops, or lose prestige. And to be honest, they can revolt, they're not going to win. So we won that, we got some military tradition, all good. Okay, so well, if we accept military access, this actually makes it significantly more likely that we'll be able to get Marathas into our fold. I'm actually going to throw a alliance offer at them, because if we can get them into our vassalization, we don't have to conquer them, and more importantly, we don't have to fight them in the long run. 60 more. We're still 5 away, I think. But it should prevent them from actually fighting us. Which is the beginning of a much more potent alliance. It's just a simple cooperation with us. Especially once their claim disappears on Dash. And Maldives have become self-sustaining. We get 2.2 prestige, and our colony with a level 1 fort, of course. We're going to start coring it, so we don't suffer any penalties from it. And if we look at the Ceylon trade zone, it's now has an incredible 11 inside it. And very little trade actually leaves. Well, Sindh, Persia, and Mewar are kind of pulling some forward, but it's just nothing like what we actually have here. Okay, so they have a merchant pulling some trade at more, but regardless. Next, we want to go and colonize the Adamans. We've sent our colonist over there. He should arrive relatively soon, in around 2 months in game. Okay, while that's going on, we can continue accumulating a significant amount of cash. We're up to 437 accumulated, and if we keep accumulating 120 per month, then we'll at least end up with around 800 by the time we reach our Regency ending. Which I doubt I have to tell you is very good for the nation. I'm just thinking maybe I should culture shift, because it wouldn't be worth that much stuff, and it would keep Ceylon, which is a bit difficult to fight rebellions, more under control. You know, I don't really think I'm not worried about it, actually, to be honest. I mean, we're relatively well off for a nation. And I'd be happy. Since walls are breached, we're going to assault. And just end this siege, and not only make our vassals start recovering full manpower, but allow us to not waste any more time keeping someone stationed there. Though the Islamic rebels in Ahmednagar are pretty concerning. Okay, we've established a small colony. Currently, we're just kind of growing on our own. We can't really trust anything else. And one day we can expect it to maybe garner enough to really speed up the process. I don't get why they keep doing this. They keep moving their troops off of Kandash, which they need to take to, which is weird. The AI is stupid sometimes. Delhi is starting to consolidate its control over northern India. It's invading Gurd. And the Timurids really have been pushed back far, haven't they? Though it looks like they're still completely fine. Okay, so we're doing quite well. It's telling us that we could get Land of Opportunity, which gets our settlement up. But like I said earlier, I don't see really much the point. We don't have many colonies access. Well, actually, we could start colonizing provinces over here. And actually, that may be a worthwhile thing to invest our galley fleet, is to give an admiral. What am I doing? It's a military leader. We can create an explorer, I'm sorry, which costs us some diplomatic power, and then have our galleys go look at the sea and find a naval route to Europe, so to speak. Or definitely not to Europe, but to see the full extent of the African, the Middle Eastern part of Africa. We can also get a small regiment and explore so we can colonize these small islands. They're here and taunting us. And yeah, we're suffering some decent naval attrition here, especially since we're in open sea at the moment, which gives us a larger penalty. And if we go and if we find the civilizations, which is probably, I don't even know who could be there, but if we find them, we can then oh, we found Seychelles and a bit more. So let's move closer to the coast, because right now, since we're in open sea, again, we're suffering more. Actually, we're on open sea anymore, so we aren't suffering as bad attrition. Cash-wise, we're at 600 in money, and I'm betting my 800 will come true pretty well, and pretty easily. And we have found the Mujahideen, which we may colonize for the glory of Hindustan. Let's go and look into the Persian. Well, not the Persian Gulf. That's up here, this tiny bit. But let's go see if we can see more Muslim powers that can hate us. We see someone, don't really know. Let's, go up here. Wow, we have met Oman. They actually like us pretty well. because we are an enemy of an enemy. And in the long run, we could expect despite the fact that Iran is like compete heavily with us for trade, we can expect that they'll otherwise be a pretty good group to see, and that they'll help keep our pirates off our coast more than our current ships are doing for that. Well, let's send our ships back to port now that we've made that discovery, and soon we'll head back and start moving down the Gulf. Yeah, and religious rebels are now in Surat, and this is one thing I hate about religious rebels, is they automatically convert the province. So I'm going to actually go and ask I would ask, but they don't want to give it to me. Despite the fact that they're not going to take either province, and they're going to get even more Muslim. And this is partially because the AI it's still weak. As nice as it is at times, it's still a stupid AI. We'll send our ships into port. We'll get repaired, and then we'll go on our next escapade down to maybe see some more. And by the looks of it, Oman, it would be our neighbor if we were to expand, along with the Swahili, if I had to guess from that color. The Maldives is a very rich area by now. In terms of actual produced, it's producing well, and I think I'm actually the production leader if I look at trade, goods, spices, we control a great deal of the top producers, I believe. And demand, not much to comment on. And those are worth some. I think only China wares worth more. Yeah, we'll refuse that offer for some free prestige. We haven't been able to pick up some since we were at war, and we need something to improve our legitimacy somewhat. And that's a key thing that can provide it. Mawari peasants are in Mawar, the capital of Mawari. So we'll go and launch our counter-offensive against them. Our colony was hit. I think it may have been burned to the ground. Nope, it barely survived on. So we're gonna keep growing it and hope that we roll a similar event that gave us a huge boost in the Maldives to dealing with enemy ferocity, the ferocity of natives. We are at 700 gold stockpiled, and I'm going to revise that. We're probably going to stockpile up to 900. And we could hire 12 units of mercenaries, or since we could hire 4 sieging forces, essentially, to go and supplement our armies so that we could actually fight. Another province has been force converted to Sunni Islam. This is why a small nation there's been calls to modify it, because at the moment they're so powerful no one can beat them, especially early on. and it just makes the game less fun. I'm surprised Bengal isn't rushing. And who's here? Oh, Delhi's also here. Is Delhi allied with Bengal? They're allied with Bengal, so we'll focus on Gurjat and Amnagar. And if we can, we'll swing around and hit Bengal as hard as we can to kind of cripple their ability to trade in our area. In the region we want to control. Leaving only Sindh being a major competitor. And actually, our ruler has already aged up. We currently are Raja Alauddin Alam Shah I Sangama. We don't have an heir. We have a legitimacy of 47%. And now we can begin enforcing our demands. Since our troops are already completely up on what we want to do, we're going to declare war on Amnagar for the conquest of East Berar. I suspect the Marathas won't intervene. Okay, so our general will be personally attacking the main force of Ahmedgar. And since we didn't get there first, we suffered penalties. And he could have faced a river crossing penalty. Oh well, he's kind of beaten already, so we'll force him to move away. We'll select our army, dispatch a siege unit, and well, we'll keep it. We'll actually keep that. We don't really have any reason. Over here, we'll detach a siege unit and move on. As with down here, we'll detach a siege unit, then launch someone to hopefully take out those Muslims that are in Surat. Unfortunately, we're getting horrid rolls. So it's really a toss-up whether we'll win or not. Wow, our vassal just launched a suicide attack. That was bad. And our army lost so bad that we're in full retreat mode. Meanwhile, we've detached second siege, and now we're attacking the forces in Kandash. Because if they are defeated, we can detach our own siege. We can move on with the actual occupation of the nation. And we won. We destroyed the army and got quite a bit of army tradition. We're going to detach a siege and send some forces down to take over. Okay, we'll select a larger force, and we'll launch our new assault on the Muslim forces, which are now have been pretty hurt morale-wise, and if we're lucky, we'll do pretty poorly against our attack. Our vassal is in the last province, and a near complete province spread is always nice. Okay, we have complete province spread. We are occupying every province we can occupy. And now we just have to go for the sieging period. Or at least start taking down provinces out through the sieging period until we can get some mercs out here. And indeed, I'll start hiring mercenaries. Because though expensive, mercenaries do the job. And free up our armies to declare and wage war on Gurajat, which we should be left alone on. I don't think is Sind allied with Gurajat? No, they're allied with Kazakh. Up here somewhere. If we're lucky, actually, we'll get a few sieges completed and can use more armies in the actual war effort against Gurajat. The Marathas probably will have an aggressive expansion fear once we're done, which would be understandable. We're kind of seizing control over a vast tract of land. Okay, we have 4 mercenary troops moving in to East Berar, and West Berar has fallen to my forces. So we're going to send the mercs that were supposed to go there to Kandesh, so we can free up another army to be together before we launch our invasion of Gurajat. Okay, our forces are starting to get together. Diplomacy. We're going to actually declare take Gurajat goal. We should be able to annex them if we call willing allies. Marathas do not want to participate in this war either. They're not happy we're fighting wars in general at the moment because we're just trying aggressively to seize as many of our claims as we can. Unfortunately, one army is going to be occupied for a while, unless we get fortunate. Our armies will be... We've declared war, but it's going to be tough moving in. But without further ado, let's move in, actually. Okay, so at this point, I'm expecting at least one of the mini provinces we have sieged to surrender soon, just because we have a bunch of sieges nearly at the point of where we can do that. Mandu has fallen, so we're going to go send our forces. Well, they're actually... First, our mercenary force is done, so we'll go and send them to Surat to take over the siege there. The enemy has a force in Marar, and knowing that, we're going to detach and actually cut them off as many of their home provinces as possible. Since they're alone and allierless, they have no allies in a potential conflict. And it worked. They couldn't actually do anything, so we were able to take them out before anything went wrong. And now we have one of our armies that will siege them down, so we can take a look at our next avenue of movement. I'm going to go ahead and establish war taxes. It will lower our land maintenance modifier, so we have some money to work with. Okay, 13th of July we can start moving troops. We lost it, and yeah, that's fair. We weren't really moving troops well and effectively to begin with. We'll move a small Hindustani fleet to try and blockade and provide aid to the siege of the Gurajati blockade. Meanwhile, our nation will start shifting gears. I can't tell if Bengal is still at war. Are they? Yeah, they're still at war with Jaunpur. I don't know how many troops they've lost, but we're going to want to shift over quickly and either invade Jaunpur or invade Bengal. I realized we're going to step in and save our colony. We don't want to lose what little progress we have on it. We've taken over Khandesh finally. We have a decent amount of settlers growing in here. And with that Khandeshi army, we'll bring both of the mercs together. Now we just need to take their capital, and what do you know? Okay, so I think Jaunpur will actually be the best target, because we can maybe take Bihar, Jharkhand, and Uttarakhand without much opposition. We're sieging them quite effectively, and slowly but surely we're starting to see progress on that development. And we'll be able to make our final declaration. Amigar is decline. Let's look at what we could get from them in a potential peace deal. We can't do a full annexation, unfortunately, but we could ask for East, West, Berar, we can ask for Mandu, and we can also ask for Surat, which I want to do. We'll leave them be Center 3, and isolate them from the world using our natural stuff. And we finally control Surat. We'll have our people finish redeploying over there. Then we'll declare our war. We've hired 4 more mercenaries to fight our wars for us. Fortunately, when you're rich, you can do this quite effectively. And that's why I like mercenaries in EU3, which really weren't viable. You actually have so many choices on what you want to do militaristically. So, we want Mandu, Surat, West Berar, and East Berar. Additionally, we want you to actually, if we get rid of say the claim to West Berar, and we can't demand it, we have to take we don't want Maratha, we want West Berar. And but then we couldn't demand a vassalage. Okay, so we're making our deal. The first war will be complete. We'll control that. So that's probably a good time to stop the video. Tune in next time as we begin the war against Jaunipur and finish the war against Gurajat.